All right, welcome in, everybody. We'll take questions for Coach Holgerson after today's game. If you could, you please raise your right hand. All right, first question goes to Mark Berman, Fox 26. Mark.
Dana, what is your take after this one?
Cincinnati's a good team. Give them a lot of credit. Number 6 is good as advertised. Extremely physical. Their bodies are big. They're athletic. They're talented. The quarterback's playing at a good level. Everything starts up front in football. Their D-line dominated us up front, and their O-line dominated us up front as well. So we got beat by a good football team. My message to the team in there is if you think it's hard now, it's going to get harder next week. So we got 4 games left, and we got to get a lot better. We're clearly not anywhere close to where we need to be as a football team and a program to be able to compete in this league. Just not there yet.
Dana, the sequence late second quarter, y'all had closed to 14-7. Their quarterback escapes and scores, and they score late. How much was that a turning point, or do you see it differently?
I told them at halftime that the end of the second quarter was unacceptable football on every single level. We knew we were searching on offense a little bit to find some things. Not surprising to me. We found a few things. Bryson made a play, Tank made a play. You got to punch that one in there, which unfortunately we got it 1st and 10 on the 10. 3 straight incompletions, and we had to settle for a field goal. We needed to punch that in. It's hard to get down there against these guys. When we do, we got to finish. We did not. Got to call better plays. Got to execute it better. And then we kicked it off. One of the worst kicks I've seen in like all my years of coaching. And then they returned it for 50 yards. 2 plays later, they scored. And then we gave it right back to them for a chance to score again. It's bad. It's bad. We finally found some rhythm and some, an offensive. We scored, and then we had an opportunity to score again. Got 10 points on the board. Thought we had a little bit of momentum right there, and then we just completely shut down on special teams and defense. Not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. And then I think it was 2 hours later we finally got the ball back.
Next question goes to Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle. Joseph.
Dana, I know you guys on defense are dealing with stuff that you won't make as an excuse, but can you put your finger on the run aspect of the defense and what's happened after the first 3 games, these last 2?
Missing a few captains on the D front hurts. With that said, guys got to step in and play. They're really good up front, and their quarterback is hard to tackle. Their backs run hard. Their tight ends are bigger than our O-line. They're just at a point in their program where they can do about what they want to. They're not just doing it to us. They did it to Memphis last week and SMU the week before that. So let's give them a little bit of credit here. We need to compete harder. We need to coach better. We need to play better. We need to execute. Just the same stuff as last week continued on to this week, just based on our opponent more than
Next up, Rob Sellers.
Dana, it seemed like when you guys brought pressure up front on defense, you guys were able to get really close to it in the backfield, not quite be able to, and then, of course, flush Ritter out. Is that just kind of the difference between the 2 programs right now in terms of not quite having the players maybe in the program to close that out at times?
I'm going to coach who we got. I'm going to coach them better and coach them harder and try to get them to make more plays.
All right, back to Joseph. JD.
Dana, the success you did have with the up-tempo that kind of caught them off guard a little bit on that score, was that something that just as the game went on, was that not something you were able to continue to do, or did you kind of have to pick your spots there?
I had to be responsible with our possessions, and I had to be responsible with when I did that. I thought varying tempos would catch them off guard, and it did on a couple of those big plays. If you do that all the time, then they would have been accustomed to it, and they would have been prepared for it, and we would have had a lot of 3-and-out punts with about 26 seconds off the clock. So I was trying to shorten the game a little bit. They're not real complicated with what they do defensively. So regardless if we tempoed or we didn't tempo, I wouldn't get an advantage unless we caught them off guard. right? And it did, and it worked, and we got a couple of plays out of it, but it's not something that I felt like we could do throughout the course of 4 quarters, and it'd be advantageous for our team.
Back to Andy Yanez from the Daily Cougar. Andy?
Dana, can you talk about what you saw from Clayton Tune and the receivers with Marquez Stevenson out?
Just spotty. Like I said, I mean, everything starts up front, and if you're getting dominated on the line of scrimmage, it makes it hard for everybody. And I don't think we played just awful, up front. I'm not pinpointing the lopsided loss to the number 6 team in the country because our O-line and D-line didn't play particularly good. We weren't up for that challenge, and everything starts with that, and I thought Clayton for what was coming at him, they blitzed him a lot. He sat in there. It was an improvement from last week, not nearly to the point to where we could make enough plays against this team to be able to stay in it. But his poise in the pocket, I thought was okay. His accuracy, I thought was okay. He wasn't the problem. He took a lot of responsibility for what happened last week, but he wasn't the problem for that.
All right, got time for 2 more. First one back to Mark Berman. Mark.
Dana, when you talked about the issues on special teams and defense, do you consider those things an easy fix, or is that an oversimplification of what has to happen?
We've played good in spurts against other teams. I mean, you got to take into consideration who the opponent is probably a little bit. I don't know. We gotta watch it, and we gotta man up, and we gotta look in the mirror, and everybody in this program has got to do better. We're not nearly where we need to be able to compete against a team like Cincinnati, which is the top team in our league right now. Unfortunately, that's just the cold hard truth. Doesn't mean that we can't compete. We got 4 games left on our schedule, and I expect guys to be real motivated and want to compete and try to win some games here. But we're 2-3 in the conference right now, or 2-2. Where are we? 2-2 in the conference right now. We've won a couple of games in this league. We got 4 games that I think we should compete hard in. So, some of the issues, put them on me, put them on our opponent, whatever it is. We'll work hard to get them fixed.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up with Coach for tonight. We'll be back shortly. Thanks.